Married to an alpha husband in a marriage of convenience for 2 years, I finally couldn't bear the pain of going through my heat alone and brought up separation. Who would have thought his Enigma childhood friend, and boss, would be more anxious than either of us? When I advised him to treat my husband with a little more kindness, he took his time typing and finally sent me a message. Then hurry up, don't make me wait too long. When the doctor told me I couldn't use suppressants anymore due to overuse, he couldn't hide the smirk on his lips. James, you two never marked each other? And when I passed out from getting worked up while trying to get him to stop spreading rumors about my husband at his company, he licked my scent gland and said, James, if you're not divorced by the end of next month, I'll have to show up at your place and get an answer myself. That's when I lost it. I grabbed him by the collar and yelled, Henry! What the hell is wrong with you? Can't get Daniel, so you're coming after me instead? Who knew? After getting yelled at, his eyes flushed red and he pinned me down, kissing me like mad. So I've been circling you for so long my tail's practically fallen off, and you think it's because I like your husband? James, can't you tell? I'm in love with you. 1. So, when are you going to meet me? This is already the... Ah! Before he could finish, a miserable moan from an omega inside cut him off. I was sitting at a barbecue stand near Daniel's company, chugging beer while staring at the divorce agreement that had practically become a regular at the table with me. Back then, because of my dad, who only knew how to ruin deals, I ended up marrying Daniel. I didn't have anyone I liked, so I didn't bother with running away or refusing. But once we were together, I realized Daniel was a total dud, even a teddy dog would avoid him. Tonight marked my 8th time asking for a divorce, and he still wouldn't come down and sign. I hung up and angrily wolfed down a few more bowls of rice. When I looked up, I realized there was a man calmly sitting across from me, his drink untouched. Looking closely, it was Henry, Daniel's childhood friend and also his boss. TCH. His tailored designer suit looked completely out of place at a street food stall. I ignored him, and once I was done eating, I rushed to the bushes by the road and threw up for what felt like forever. Bitterness hit me hard. I cried while vomiting. Ugh, cough. So damn miserable. I just want a divorce. A large hand appeared in my line of sight, long fingers, and an insanely expensive watch on his wrist. Henry lowered his head and handed me a handkerchief, his expression mocking. Didn't you look thrilled when you got married? What are you crying for now? I mean, sure, I was thrilled, mostly about that black card in my wallet. None of your business. I wiped my tears and snot, then tossed the handkerchief back at him. You're an enigma who's never even been married. What do you know about love? I really can't get married right now. Henry squatted beside me, his handsome face up close and threatening. The person I love is already married to someone else. What? Cough cough. I nearly threw up on him. He had to be saying that just to mess with me. Back in school, everyone knew Henry and Daniel, an enigma and an alpha, were a perfect power pair, both with impressive family backgrounds. But later on, Henry apparently made some kind of bet with his dad, went abroad to study for a few years, and by the time he returned, Daniel was already with me, the son of a nouveau riche who couldn't even turn over assets properly. On our wedding day, Henry's face was darker than the bottom of a pot. He made sarcastic comments at me for ages, and even after Daniel and I moved in together, I'd still catch glimpses of a black Cayenne parked downstairs, those eyes in the driver's seat practically shooting daggers. Don't worry. He'll be divorced soon. Snapping back to the present, I fixed myself up and stood. The words just slipped out. A flicker of surprise passed over Henry's icy expression. His voice raised slightly in disbelief. You're getting divorced? Really? I stood there frozen, staring at the hand wrapped around my wrist in a daze. Yes. I'm divorcing Daniel. You two can finally be together. 2. I'd heard about how tough enigmas are, but I didn't realize just how strong Henry was. He actually left a red mark on my wrist with one grip. I changed into a bathrobe and leaned against the living room windowsill to look outside. To my surprise, That familiar Cayenne was parked under the tree by the door again tonight, and Henry was leaning against the car, smoking. Knowing he was going to be here tonight anyway, I figured I might as well save the $40 I spent on a cab earlier and just mooch off him. On a whim, I pulled back the curtain and opened the window, sticking half my body out. Hey, don't wait out here, it's hot, and there are tons of mosquitoes under the tree. The cigarette in his mouth dropped to the ground with a clink. He instinctively stretched his arms out but quickly pulled them back. I staggered to steady myself. Go back quickly. He's never going to come to see you. Believing Daniel would come home was like believing a boar could climb a tree. But Henry looked up at me. He already came to see me. For a moment, I thought he meant he'd come for me. Before I could say anything, Daniel's car rolled in. He stormed out, standing between us, his anger flaring. Lovers reunion? If you two won't come down, then I will. I was too tired to respond to his barking and just made a universal dismissive gesture. I don't know what he said to Henry, but Henry's gaze never left me. What, was that a challenge? Too bad, I never loved Daniel, and I sure wasn't jealous over this idiot. But then Daniel's tone grew harsher. Maybe he pissed off Henry, because the Enigma lowered his head and dragged the shorter Alpha into the car. I couldn't bear to watch what happened next. I've never seen a car shake so violently. Daniel's head and profile flashed repeatedly against the window. TSK, rekindling old flames is something else. Enigmas definitely have an edge over Alphas in many ways. After Henry drove off in the Cayenne in style, Daniel stumbled upstairs, looking a little unsteady on his legs, with a cut on his lip. What are you staring at? You proud of yourself? He reeked of Enigma liquor, the scent almost overflowing. I covered my nose and backed away. Henry might just be worried, you don't need to be this mad. When did Daniel ever get to decide what happens between me and you? Daniel snapped, and you, don't get too close to him anymore. I only chatted a bit with Henry, yet Daniel was already acting so possessive. Looks like these two are still stuck in their push and pull, love-hate drama. Alright. I turned to grab the divorce papers from the coffee table. So, will you sign this? Sign what? I can't even see right now. You expect me to sign it tomorrow so I can run away? Daniel winced in pain. Fine, serves you right. I tossed the papers onto his pale, contorted face and stomped upstairs in my slippers. 3. Daniel's nightmares kept him up most of the night, his moans loud enough to wake me up in the next room. After lying awake for a while, I finally decided to message Henry. Henry, we will get divorced, but could you be a little gentler? Daniel looks terrified. The chat bubble showed him typing immediately. But he stopped, deleted, and after a long wait sent a confusing reply. Then hurry up, don't make me wait too long. I nearly misunderstood him, but then I realized he meant for us to get divorced quickly. I do want it to happen fast, but someone's got to help me. If only someone could hold a knife to Daniel's throat and force him to sign those papers, that'd be perfect. At first, I really did try to accept Daniel. But I'm a neat freak at heart, and I hate public bathrooms. The more I annoyed him, the worse his attitude toward me became. But lately, Henry has been messaging me daily, asking for updates and even sending lawyer contacts. When I didn't reply for an hour, he showed up at my little bar. Henry, what are you doing here? I asked as he pushed open the office door. I had just finished an injection and was flushed and breathless coming out of the lounge. James, what's wrong? Is it your heat cycle? Without hesitation, he grabbed my armpits and lifted me onto the desk. Did you finish the suppressants? I did, but it's only after finishing that it got like this. I stared at him, dazed. It felt like he was staring at my scent glands while grinding his teeth. Well, whatever, better to faint now and deal with it later. When I woke again, Henry's private doctor was pressing me for an exam. Weak constitution, combined with overdosing on suppressants cause temporary shock. If you don't want to die, no more suppressants. Henry, standing by the bed, had sweat beading on his forehead, face dark. What's the solution? You need alpha pheromones, preferably a rare, quality enigma like you. At least you don't have to worry about being bound. Unlike alphas, enigmas can mark multiple alphas and omegas permanently at the same time. A married omega, overdosed on suppressants. Henry's eyes lit up with a secret joy. James, you've never been marked? An omega who's never been cared for by their husband, how laughable. So, what? I looked up at him. Henry said nothing. After the doctor left, he silently exuded the strong scent of liquor. The doctor said what you need now is pheromones. He unbuttoned his shirt, revealing a tattoo at the collar with a clear S, Daniel's initial. No, I don't need that. I tried to push him away, but the pheromones controlled my brain. I underestimated their strength. Wrapped in his embrace, smelling the liquor, a sweet orange scent also came through. Only then did I notice the plain ring on his hand, the one Daniel had thrown away. Not many know that was the birthday gift I gave Daniel. We can only hug, no more than that. I curled up as much as I could, trying not to cling. But the man behind me chuckled softly, leaning in to whisper, James, you really want to do more with me, don't you? I must be crazy. What was I thinking, going after an enigma who liked my husband? The only reason he could give me pheromones was because enigmas can calm multiple omegas at once, not because I was special. Henry hadn't been gone long when Daniel started blowing up my phone again. James, what do you mean? Are you trying to kill me? Do I have to ruin my reputation before you're satisfied? 4. Daniel somehow got mixed up with some shady deals and almost got taken in by the police for questioning at a club. Before the investigation, it was fine, but once it started, gossip flooded the internet, and the photos leaked even reached his alpha father. For a businessman who's desperate to build a national image and work within government circles, that was unacceptable. But instead of messing with his precious son, Daniel took it out on his omega wife. I caught glimpses of the injuries a few times. They were pretty bad. Other than me, the only one eager for a divorce was Henry. When I arrived at the company, Henry was sitting in a suit on the sofa, 2 cups of hot coffee set neatly before him. James, what brings you here? Daniel took the day off. He's not at the office now. The CEO's office on the 88th floor requires ID to enter, but as soon as I stepped in, from security to the front desk, everyone seemed ready to bow and escort me in. He thinks I'm an idiot. I'm not. You know I'm not here for him. I walked past the coffee table straight up to him. Stop drinking the coffee. You were behind the Daniel mess, weren't you? Henry frowned, clearly annoyed. So what if I did? I'm helping you. Are you worried about him? Yes, I want a divorce, but this chaos isn't what I wanted. Henry, you went too far, too extreme. You look terrifying like this. Terrifying? Henry's face suddenly darkened, and the atmosphere thickened. The ones doing those things aren't scary. I'm the scary one exposing him. You never really let him go, did you? I can't explain it to you. I was so frustrated I almost jumped, my face flushed, glands on my neck throbbing. You sent those messages. If you can't take them back, figure something out. Say they're all fake. Isn't that enough? I bit my teeth, got dizzy, and collapsed onto the coffee table, but he caught me and pulled me into his arms. By the time I came to, the office was filled with the scent of sweet oranges mixed with liquor. Henry held me close, gently licking my swollen glands, his voice hoarse. James, if you don't divorce by next month at the latest, I'll have to come to your house and demand an explanation. No way, that's not right. I'm supposed to be the guy his crush's ex-husband. I clawed at his chest like a spooked kitten, tilting my head back. Henry. You're a freak. If you can't get Daniel, you'll ruin me. To my surprise, Henry looked disgusted. Don't gross me out. I stopped struggling and looked at him terrified. Who are you calling gross? His mouth twitched, then he pinned me down with a fierce kiss. When he pulled away, there was a red glow at the corners of his eyes. So, I've been tailing you all this time, practically wagging my tail off, because I like your husband? James, don't you see? The one I like is you. 5. Like me. Henry likes me, not Daniel. My eyes went wide, my mouth barely closing as I stared at him, speechless. So all this time Henry was spying, it wasn't on Daniel but on me, the bystander? I'd been foolishly joking with him that Daniel wasn't home. That night, Daniel really did get beaten up. I suddenly felt both angry and amused, and totally unsure what to do with Henry. He buried his face in my neck, his canine teeth tracing my glands like a dog marking its territory. Henry sighed and held me tighter. James, I'm asking you, do you want me today or not? Isn't this a little wrong? I hesitated, looking at him nervously. Even though Daniel and I were just nominally married, I was technically his good husband. But because of some innate chemistry, I couldn't resist Henry's aggressive embrace. Fine, I get it. I'm just not worthy. Henry finally lost it, angrily pushing me aside and standing up. As he got off the sofa, I grabbed his shirt and pulled him back down. I stammered, barely able to say anything, just awkwardly staring at him. Henry glanced at my reddened fingertips on his shirt, then smirked subtly, "Don't be nervous. He won't find out." With that, Henry pressed his hand to my neck and leaned in to whisper. The moment his lips touched my glands, it felt like he was strangling me. The whole office filled with the smell of liquor and sweet oranges. When the temporary marking ended, I changed into the clothes Henry's assistant brought me, and lightly lay back on the lounge bed, half asleep. I wasn't sure if I was dreaming or if it had really happened. On my way out, I saw Henry put my phone back on the sofa. "What are you doing with my phone?" I ran over and asked. "Oh, my phone died. Just checking the time." Henry looked completely innocent. I pointed at his wrist. "Then what's the watch for?" Caught in the lie, he admitted, "Fine, I checked your phone. Wanted to see if you'd contacted Daniel. But it seems like you don't even have his contact info anymore." Really? Had I deleted him? Whatever, when it comes to Daniel, I don't even want to waste energy searching. 6. From that day on, anonymous flowers and gifts started arriving at my place. Daniel, seeing these mysterious presents, could only get mad and throw them away, with nowhere to vent. As for Henry, he found time to visit my bar regularly, took care of my meals, and kept a close eye on my health. Over time, the stark contrast between Henry and Daniel made a small part of my heart start to grow again. What I didn't expect was that just by me covering Henry with a blanket while he slept, his progress bar maxed out. One phone call later, Henry's alpha father agreed to the divorce. At the Civil Affairs office, Henry held a divorce certificate, a smile creeping up his lips. "Did you really get him to quit?" I asked. "Yeah." Henry nodded. "I traded a port operation right for the divorce. I don't want to see him anymore." "That was your own hard work." I'd heard Henry built his business from the ground up. He even fought pirates and worked with foreigners before gaining control of that port. Henry raised an eyebrow and whispered in my ear, "Don't worry, I didn't say I wouldn't take it back." "What do you mean, take it back?" I instinctively recoiled and looked away. Not far off, Daniel's face was as dark as a burnt pan. He pointed at us and shouted from a distance, "Henry, James and I are divorced. What's with your singing and dancing here like it's your turn?" "I'm happy," Henry teased, wrapping an arm around my waist. "Come on, today's a good day, 2 Omegas escaping misery." With Henry's help, Daniel's Omega father successfully divorced his alpha father and was about to leave the country that broke his heart. Henry tightened his hold on me and taunted Daniel, "Your wife's right here with me now." "Henry," I quietly warned him. But Henry ignored me and even made an unfriendly gesture at Daniel. Daniel nearly lost his breath, clutching his chest and retreating, "Humph, you damn dog men." Then he sped off, leaving Henry no chance to catch him. After he left, Henry asked me, "James, now that you're divorced, when are you going to marry me?" "Marry me? That's a bit too fast." I was a little attracted to him, but not ready to get married yet. "You're moving way too fast, I can't keep up," I tried to say gently. 7. Who knew Henry's face would instantly drop to rock bottom as he stared straight at me? James, when you say that now, do you mean you'll use me and then throw me away? Ha! Something about that didn't sound right. Why won't you be reasonable? I've known you for years, but only a few days ago did I find out you liked me. Doesn't that deserve some time? We've already marked each other and kissed. How much longer do you want to wait? Keep your voice down. I covered his mouth, glanced around nervously, then met his eager eyes. Temporary marking. It's only temporary. Temporary or not, isn't that just because we haven't taken the final step? What I said was reasonable enough, right? You've got to date before you marry, after all. I don't even know what I said wrong this time. Henry bit my palm sharply. James, to me, even the first step can only be with someone I like. He let go and strode over to pull me into his car, expression unreadable as he gripped the steering wheel. Okay, he's mad again. But somehow, hearing him say that made my heart feel warm. So someone really did want to be close to me because they liked me. I began to respond to Henry's advances, making sure he didn't mistake our connection as one-sided. Gradually, I started thinking Henry was just a giant puppy disguised as a wolf, clingy to an unbearable degree. If I paid attention, he wagged his tail. If I ignored him, he hung his eyes and still wagged his tail. But the divorce didn't free me from Daniel like I hoped. Even after moving out of the villa, he was like a bad omen, once hard to find, now impossible to shake. I blocked one phone number after another, and his SIM cards almost rivaled the number of local bosses. Even worse, many of his calls had a hint of yellow. One of these calls, I was huddled on a doll Henry had bought me, holding back my anger and finally answered. Daniel, enough, okay? If you call again, I'll send someone after you. Wasn't it you who contacted me first? Daniel sneered. You pretended to be innocent, but secretly you liked cheating outside. Seems like Alpha couldn't satisfy you, you needed an Enigma. You and Henry must have gotten together already, huh? Wait, how did he know? No, he was using my words against me. If I'm guilty just for this, then he's headed straight to hell. I gave up. Fine, yes, I'm with him. I'm with your childhood friend Henry. Happy now? There was silence on the other end, then a furious roar. James! So you really are together? You! Just you wait. Both of you wait. What the hell did I miss? Or is Daniel just losing it? After hanging up, I lounged on the sofa watching a movie while rain poured outside. I don't know how long later, the doorbell rang. Henry was drenched head to toe, eyes red-rimmed. Basically, Daniel went his usual way, adding fuel to the fire as he told Henry's parents about us. So now, in Henry's parents' eyes, their heir was a homewrecker seducing a married man, bringing shame to the family, losing respect, and threatening Henry's position. As expected, it all led to exactly what I predicted. In the end, I wasn't without reason. James, can I repost those things about Daniel now? Henry frowned, soaked and crouching in front of me. Wait a little longer. Daniel's Omega dad still needs time abroad, he has to say goodbye to family properly. I lifted Henry's chin for a gentle kiss. If something went wrong now, people might disappear mysteriously. But what about me? Aren't you worried about what my parents, family, or others will think? Henry's mouth twitched, still anxious. Everyone's talking at home, do I have to be the third party? At this point, I could only ask, what do your parents say? What do they want to do with you? What? Henry blinked, a twitch on his lips. If it comes to it, we just get married now to shut them up. That works, too. But I feared that if we did that, it would only confirm Henry's role as the homewrecker. I know Henry's good enough to make me think about marriage, but right now, I'm scared of it. I don't doubt true feelings, but feelings can change in an instant. This time, without my dad meddling, I don't want to rush. Why not date forever? Forget it. Seeing my hesitation, Henry grabbed my hand and suddenly turned serious. If you dump me, it's fine. At worst, I quit, go into lockdown, get beaten up, kicked out, and mocked by all my enemies. I won't die. I fell silent. Let me think about it properly. 8. While Henry's issue wasn't resolved, Daniel came knocking first, and honestly, this divorce wore me out more than either of them. When Daniel cornered me in the bar's back alley, I was completely helpless, I couldn't break free. He repeated the same accusations again and again, always bringing up Henry the bad man and how he needed to change. So I calmly rejected him. Stop it. Don't bother me anymore. I never liked you from the start. So you don't care about me cheating with the side girls? We never even did anything, so why are you accusing me? Yeah, I know. You're mad because I didn't help you through your sensitive period before, right? So you used Henry as a tool. Daniel guessed pretty well. I wanted to explain, but explanations are for reasonable people. For a crazy person like him, I chose to irritate him. To me, I just wanted a tool for the sensitive period. He's rich and handsome, why not? Without emotion, I finished my sentence and noticed a figure by the wall, peeking out from behind Daniel. Henry was standing there, eyes cold and murderous. Great, the misunderstanding just got worse. Sure enough, Henry strode over, grabbed me, and started kissing me fiercely, ignoring Daniel completely. It was like a show of defiance. I'll let go. My legs went weak, and I nearly collapsed into his arms, struggling to push him away. Why push me away? Maybe annoyed, Henry finally looked down at me. You said I was just a tool. Now I'm rushing to be at your service, what's there to run from? He tried to pull open his collar and pressed my hand to his chest muscles, making me feel like I'd walked into the wrong building. Don't do this. Let's talk later. There was someone else here, and no matter what, I didn't want to continue. Henry was crazy, and what he did to Daniel proved it. Oh, I forgot, I was the one holding you back from your warm reunion. Henry ignored me and tore his shirt to shreds. You were with your ex while cheating with me. Now you want to marry me but still have to deal with him. Shut up. I slapped him hard, both angry and upset. I admit, maybe my words weren't perfect, but why should I be humiliated like this? But after the slap, my hand trembled, I didn't know what to say next. From Henry's point of view, I did look worse than Daniel. Fine. You hit me for your ex, Henry snapped, losing patience. He grabbed me and hoisted me over his shoulder. Henry, what are you doing? Daniel tried to step forward but got kicked away, sitting on the ground gasping. Henry shoved me into his car and made me sit facing him on his lap, forcing me to face his anger. My temper flared, and I swallowed the words I wanted to soothe him with, pushing away his lips. Henry, what do you mean? Why am I with you? Didn't you start this? Henry's eyes glowed red. Yes, I seduced you. I led you into this trap step by step. I'm the villain. If we're being so clear, then listen, marrying me isn't your choice. I raised my voice. Henry, I hate being forced into things. Only things you hate count as being forced. He licked my fingertips with a strange smile. You know, James, if you want to get away from me, want to escape, I won't let you. I can get him to divorce you, and I can make you marry me. Damn it, with him, there's no reasoning. Because of our different experiences, Henry and I clash on marriage, now it's causing serious problems. Asshole. I slapped him again. Henry didn't dodge or get angry. His red cheek smiled as he held my hand. Come on, hit me again. Aim better, right here. 9. Choosing a calm, sunny day, Henry dragged me off to take wedding photos. Even the registrar gave me a second look with a puzzled expression. Smile, or you'll end up crying in bed, Henry whispered into my ear. I shot him a glare and forced an awkward smile at the camera. We were both irritated. He thought I married him without feelings, and I was stubborn because he misunderstood me and never tried to smooth things over. Living together, we were like two cold faces washing each other's laundry, awkwardly funny but strangely harmonious. One night, I came home late due to work and passed by the study. I caught Henry staring at a photo. Through the door crack, I recognized a picture of the three of us, the only photo of him and Daniel together. I couldn't resist, so when Henry stepped out, I snuck in and threw the photo away. The frame hit the floor just as Henry appeared, face cracking in anger. The cake nearby fell with a crash. "Let me see, are you hurt?" He carefully checked my skin and then gently laid me across the table. I was frozen, still shocked. Because only after seeing the photo did I realize Daniel's face was already scratched out. Henry was furious. "Who told you to throw my things without permission? And you smashed my photo, do you know there's only one?" Before, Henry would yell at Daniel. Now, switching targets, he refused to draw a clear line with me. "What's this superstition nonsense? Are you the emperor?" I didn't indulge him at all. Divorce again if needed, I had experience. Henry saw through me instantly, grabbed my chin. "Don't think about nonsense. Now you belong to me. Besides, I'm worried about you, that's why I'm anxious, nothing else." "I know, I didn't say otherwise." I looked at the plain ring on his hand, then quietly looked away. Maybe it was just a similar brand. Or maybe he was sentimental and forgot to take it off. Everyone said he didn't like Daniel, only me. But what about the S tattoo leaking out on his chest? Who's that for? 10. After many days, Daniel appeared again and shattered the fragile fortress I had built. In his hand was a photo of me, flushed, curled up on Henry's abs while Henry bit my gland, taken at a close angle, clearly a selfie. "How did you get this photo?" I reached to grab it. "How I got it, you tell me." Daniel locked his phone. "Someone like Henry can only let this slip if he agrees. But judging by your face, you don't even know." I couldn't believe my eyes. "Stop stirring trouble. I know you told Henry's parents about us. But there's never been anything between me and you, no emotional ties, no moral mess." "Exactly. Maybe the photo was fake, but as the one involved, I recognized the scene well." "You told his parents?" Daniel looked dumbfounded. "I wanted to post what he did online, but he's so skilled, any account I touch gets frozen and wiped fast. If he were working for the country, he'd be dealing with foreigners, not some banana company." "You're saying Henry's been scripting this whole time? Forcing me to divorce you and marry him?" I almost sat down, holding the wall to stay calm. "What else?" Daniel pressed my shoulders. "I'm no saint, but Henry's worse. He's been stalking you for a long time. He's a stalker." I shivered, flashing back to when Henry grabbed my phone. That photo of the three of us, the ring Daniel tossed but ended up in Henry's hands. Even in that dark year, the footsteps and eyes that wouldn't leave me alone. He's fixated on me. If he can leak information and ruin Daniel, who's to say I'm not next? When an Omega marries an Alpha, they become attached. Add a high-level Enigma, and socially, they outrank Alphas. Could it be because I took the one he loved, he wants to destroy both of us? If true, this game he's played for so long is impressive. I drifted home, thoughts tangled around Henry. If he's really after me, my best move is to run. So absorbed, I didn't even notice Henry entering and approaching me. "How are you, wife?" he said smoothly now. Hearing his voice, I lowered my fingers that were raw and tensed on the sofa. Since marrying, our relationship wasn't even as simple as when he gave me a towel at the barbecue stand. Now it was tangled with feelings and doubts, making me uneasy around him. Henry didn't care and leaned in for a kiss. Under the light, the ring shone unusually bright. Normally it wouldn't mean much, but now every clue reminded me of Daniel's words. "Give me back that ring." I couldn't help but slip it off and hurried to the window. "That was a gift for Daniel. Why do you have it?" Henry looked surprised and followed me. "Don't get upset, wife. That ring can't be lost. Why should I listen to you?" I scoffed and tossed the ring out. As the ring flew toward the window, Henry's figure followed. Henry, if you dare go pick up that damn ring today, I won't mind divorcing you again. So, to you, I'm just like Daniel. Easy come, easy go. Turning around, the fierce glare in his eyes nearly killed me. 11. Henry stormed out wearing the same suit he had on when he got home. At that moment, I realized maybe the one who truly couldn't let go of Daniel was him. Outside, the rain poured heavily, drumming against the windowpane, somehow making my heart ache. After all, the marriage with Daniel was arranged, but with Henry, there were real feelings. Even if I didn't fully understand it, at least when I married Henry, the flutter in my heart was carefully hidden away. That night I slept soundly, wanting to settle everything, but late into the night, the door knocked again, and I couldn't resist opening it. The door swung open, and Henry was fiercer than the storm outside, suddenly attacking me with kisses and bites. It hurt, a lot. He was like someone injected with obsession. His eyes were bloodshot, mixed with tears. James, you have no heart. Henry, are you acting with me? I tried to pull at his tattoo but he caught my wrist. At first, I understood why he wouldn't let me see it. But now we were married, done everything a couple should, except we'd never showered together or seen his upper body, probably because of that tattoo. Henry, why is Daniel's name on your chest? How do you explain that to me? Henry's gaze froze, he seemed to realize why I was acting so strangely. Did Daniel say something? How much did you hear? None of your business. If you have proof, show me. Otherwise, let's split. I said firmly, no room for argument. Henry sighed and reluctantly unbuttoned his collar. How does this not match? How does this not match? Henry, tell me, how many people besides Daniel are tattooed on you? I pressed on the ink on his chest, wanting to peel off the skin. Feeling it closely, I noticed a raised, long line like a rattlesnake. You got hurt here? Yeah, that's why I didn't want to show you. Henry grunted and grabbed my hand to stop me from leaving. James, it's you. Calling you that makes you cute. Then he seemed to catch himself, eyes shining. Wife, are you worried about me? And just now, was that jealousy? No amount of whining or tail wagging could help. What about the ring? Why do you love it so much? I grabbed the rain-drenched ring, demanding an explanation. You probably don't know, but that ring's owner isn't Daniel, it's me. Henry replied, I know it's you. I was stunned, utterly stunned. He'd been soaked by the rain and lost his rationality, stubbornly telling me, I noticed you first, but I just left a mark, then you married him. Finally waiting for your divorce, and you still couldn't let go, causing trouble with me. James, how can you not tell who's been good to you? That was the key. If Henry had liked me all along, the idea that I was just a tool to spite Daniel wouldn't hold. But Daniel. James, think it through. Henry snapped, scenting strong like liquor, trying to prove himself with pheromones. You believe a so-called emotionless ex but not the one who's loved you all along? James, past or present, when I look at Daniel, I'm really looking at you beside him. You're the only one I love. 12. So the look during our wedding wasn't anger but unwillingness. The abandoned ring was precious because of its first owner. The mismatched tattoo was filled with meaning. The tangled three-way misunderstandings were all unspoken fears. In the end, it was my misunderstanding that tortured Henry into a sort of madness. But now he reined it in and was back to being the meticulous Henry. On the way home, I was anxious explaining things at the door. Auntie, do you know everything about us now? His mother glanced between Henry and me. Yes, we know. So please don't blame him. It's all my fault. He's not ashamed, and he's not the other woman. Not just his mother, even his father looked at us puzzled. When did this happen? Henry, the instigator, cleared his throat. No, he was just drunk. I wasn't. Though I said it, my face flushed redder than anyone's. The elders believed it and laughed it off. It's fine, don't worry. From now on, we're family. And since you're officially married, call us mom and dad. After dinner, his mother chatted with me briefly. She told me she wasn't surprised by me coming because long ago, Henry protected an Omega during the chaotic year of pheromone trafficking and was stabbed in the chest. From the moment he woke in the hospital, he pointed to the photo and said that was the one he liked, so no more blind dates. At the time, they thought Henry's feelings were a passing fancy, youthful and powerless to convince his respected father, who would definitely cause trouble for me. Henry made a deal with that Omega to study abroad, work hard, and build his own career, and he succeeded. No one expected that on the day he returned, he'd hear about my upcoming wedding. That's when he got stomach problems from the stress. It's okay. Who hasn't been married a few times? I even dated a few guys when I was young, she comforted me. Henry's father cleared his throat, so my son is like me, if he likes someone, he has to fight for them. Our days grew better and better. We even attended Daniel's Omega father's wedding. Swiss snow is always beautiful. After the banquet, on our way to the cabin, we ran into Daniel with a delicate beta by his side. He seemed less sharp, not exactly friendly, but calmer than before. I smiled and nodded at the beta, then pulled Henry behind me and smoothed his hair. Don't worry, he looks harmless. Hey, not bad, you're still not divorced. Daniel looked us up and down, introducing, this one I picked up on the road, can't talk. The beta nodded and made a gesture at Daniel. Daniel's anger faded with a kiss from the beta, cheeks flushed. He says there might be a get-together tonight, come if you want. The beta couldn't speak but wasn't deaf. Hearing this, he nervously muffled Daniel to stop him from talking and eventually communicated with me via text. After divorcing me, Daniel also chose to break free from his selfish father and suffered a lot. When he was on the edge in the snowy mountains, it was the beta who saved him. Stories have a way of settling down, and Daniel wasn't as hateful as before. Later on, the four of us often met, ordinary people living extraordinary lives. Cherishing every day of family, friendship, and love.